how you can reverse type 2 diabetes in 3 simple steps. The first step is to eliminate or limit. The second step is to add, and the third step is to maintain. So let me talk about what to limit, what to eliminate, what to add, and what to maintain so that you can reverse type 2 diabetes. If you don't believe me, just look at my testimonial playlist of people who are able to reverse their type 2 diabetes, and they're reversing it, lowering their A1C, not by starving themselves or cutting out carbs, but actually they're having carbs, having fruits, and still are able to have fantastic blood sugars. That to me is truly reversing diabetes. Not only so, people are also able to get off diabetic medications as well, which is super exciting. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 simple steps they all use to reverse their type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is definitely reversible. It's used to think that you can't reverse type 2 diabetes, but there's more and more recent research showing that you can indeed reverse type 2 diabetes. Even the World Health Organization has a section on diabetes reversal, so let's get into it. The first step is to eliminate or limit. You have to understand that type 2 diabetes is caused by insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is caused by the buildup of fatty acids inside your cells. What they do is that they turn off insulin receptors, causing insulin to not work as effectively. Pretend like you have a lock and key, and let's say your lock is your cells, your key is insulin. Normally it works perfectly. However, someone stuck some chewing gum in the lock. Does it work anymore? No, because there's chewing gum in the lock. And in this case, the chewing gum is the buildup of fatty acids, and these buildup of fatty acids are caused by different factors, and they include excessive consumption of calories, high saturated fat diet, and also a sedentary lifestyle. Now, when there's insulin resistance, your body has a hard time processing glucose because insulin can't effectively signal the cells to open up their glucose gates to let glucose in. So what happens is that glucose is stuck in the blood, and that is what causes high blood sugars. That's why people who have type 2 diabetes, let's say they eat a banana, for example, their blood sugar skyrockets, not because banana is bad, but actually their cells aren't receiving the glucose effectively. So in order to reverse type 2 diabetes, we really need to focus on eliminating high saturated fat foods and also highly processed foods, because these foods are usually more calorically dense, and both high saturated fat consumption plus excessive calorie consumption are both contributors to insulin resistance. So trying to limit foods like butter, cream, processed foods like hamburger, fries, sugary drinks, or croissants or pastries, these are important foods to limit so that you can start adding the good stuff in. In my experience in helping people as well, once they limit high saturated fat foods, they're also able to improve their insulin sensitivity, which is really exciting. And the second step you need to focus on is on adding more fiber. Now, I'm not asking you to go buy these fiber powders. That doesn't actually change your whole lifestyle. What you need to do is to eat foods that are minimally processed and are high in fiber. And what foods have fiber? Plant foods. Animal food sources don't have fiber, however, plant-based foods does. Now, I'm not asking you to go vegan or vegetarian, but adding more plants into your diet can definitely help you start reversing insulin resistance. Research have shown that a high fiber plant-based diet can also help you lower insulin resistance, which is the root cause of type 2 diabetes. So adding more foods like fruits, whole grains, make sure you choose lower glycemic whole grains like farro, quinoa, and legumes like beans, lentils, tofu, and also non-starchy vegetables like Brussels sprouts, carrots, bell peppers, Swiss chard, broccoli. They're going to be fantastic for helping you reverse insulin resistance. You can also add healthy fats in there as well that are minimally processed. So instead of having lots of oil, what you can do, you can actually add flax seeds, chia seeds, avocado, nuts like almonds or walnuts. They can also help you balance your glucose numbers and help you feel satiated as well. Now, the third step is to maintain. How do we maintain a healthy lifestyle or a healthy diet? The key here is to actually enjoy the foods that you eat. A lot of people skip this part. They just think, okay, if I just white knuckle through it, if I stick to a diet, then I will be fine. But it's really important to actually modify the foods to your cultural preference, to your personal preference. So if you're someone that enjoys Asian cuisines like I do, you have to find a way where you can make Asian cuisine where it's high fiber, low in saturated fat, and still have your normal bibimbap or have your sushi and still be able to enjoy the foods that you like, because that is going to create longevity. Or if you like Mexican food, you can also do things like a chickpea pozole instead of a beef pozole to lower the amount of saturated fat. You can also have lentil tacos instead of beef tacos. And if you want to keep it simple, beans and rice are fantastic as well, with a lot of vegetables like cebollitas, which are like grilled onions. You can do cucumber with lime and tahini on it. Making sure that you find foods that you love is going to be something that creates longevity in this reversing diabetes lifestyle. And all of my clients are able to find ways to enjoy their foods while still reversing their diabetes and keeping their diabetes reversed for the rest of their life. And if you want to learn how I help people, you can go to my free training. Link is in the description below. And also, if you want to hear their stories of how they're able to reverse diabetes without cutting carbs while being able to lower their A1C and get off medications, then go check out my testimonial playlist, and I will see you in other videos.